There once was a girl. She had a great upbringing. She's an excellent student, had many good characteristics about her, and she was looking to have a prosperous career and a happy life. She just wanted to start a family, have kids, and live happily ever after. One day, she finds an attractive and affluent boy online. He's handsome, he's charismatic, he's intelligent. It seems like the variables have aligned and some divine force has given her this opportunity, and she wanted to seize it. Of course, she has never really seen his face, nor even meet him in person. She knows about the dangers associated with committing to something that she did not even understand. However, it was too good to let go. All of her relatives were against her wish to marry the boy. They told her it was somebody else impersonating a false identity, and she should not be tricked into such a destructive situation. But she refused. She has waited so long, worked so hard in her life for such an opportunity, and she couldn't possibly let it go. What if, in fact, the boy is, in reality, who he claims to be? What sort of opportunity to have prolonged happiness has she missed if she were to listen to their warnings? So she traveled to where the boy said that she would go. They married, and of course, it turns out that the boy was nothing that he claimed to be. He was abusive, base, and completely destroyed the bright future that the girl wished for. So, in this situation, what would the girl do? Upon first thought, the most obvious and logical thing to do is just divorce, leave the boy, and return to her normal life. Who would prolong their suffering beyond the necessary minimum? But in reality, what the girl did is she continued the marriage and she continued with the disillusioned life that she had started so many years ago. Certainly, the girl isn't stupid. She had a great education, she had life philosophies, and she had definite goals that she wanted to achieve. But there was a single force that could override all of these strong factors stacked on top of each other. It's that she had made a commitment to her original decision. Remember, despite her relatives' keen warnings about the fallibility of online relationships, she ignored all of them because she gambled. She weighed all of her opinions on what the boy should turn out to be against the expectations and demands of everybody else that she cared about. Once she committed to this decision, it's impossible for her to turn back on herself again. It's fair to say that opinions are one of the most valuable intellectual resources that us humans can ever create. These opinions comes from all sorts of things. In the case of the girl, her experience with the boy online. But it can also come from other people, or even as a combination of other opinions that we might already have. These opinions' origins are so deeply justified by us and so robustly constructed over such a long period of time. And suddenly, having one factor overriding everything that has occurred leading up to the formation of this opinion is incredibly challenging. For your whole life, you might have been told that smoking is detrimental to your health, but if one day the government and the health agency suddenly tells everyone that smoking is in fact beneficial, you might start to question why. What sort of proof does this ludicrous opinion stand on? In other words, why can this sudden new thought challenge the opinion that I have formulated for so long through the years of experience of my upbringing and livelihood? Am I throwing into complete confusion? No matter if it is harmful or beneficial to ourselves, humans have a deep tendency to defend our opinions as strong as we possibly can. Have you ever ordered a wrong dish at a restaurant? The dish came and it's not what you expected. But you might be tempted to hide the fact that you have an unexpected dish in front of you that you must eat anyway. Because you're afraid to show that your original conception of what this dish looks like is incorrect. Even in this case, simply changing the order might save you your appetite. But still, in order to preserve your self-esteem and to preserve the righteousness of your original opinion, you might be very much tempted to hide the fact that, yes, you have indeed mistaken something for something else. Because we value our opinions so much, we defend our opinions not only from others, but even from ourselves. Of course, the purpose of this podcast is not to say that we shouldn't have any opinions of our own, because opinions is exactly what makes us humans to have free thought. But instead, we should be aware of the simple fact that sometimes our opinions simply isn't the best. This sounds simple, but in order to do it in reality, it's very difficult, because there isn't an indicator that your opinion is wrong, when every other instinct of yours tells you that it is in fact correct. If you were to make a gift for your best friend, you would probably spend a long period of time, or even hours on it, just to suit your best friend's tastes. However, what if your best friend tells you that this is in fact the opposite of what he or she liked? It is appreciable just how hard it is to accept that the manifestation of your wishes is simply not recognized to the same degree of value that you might have done yourself. This is the same thing as your opinions are not accepted by others. As you have spent so much intellectual effort into forming and consolidating your opinion, if it's simply thrown away by other people in one split second, it is very difficult to then be aware of the fact of your own opinion's fallibility. Because every instinct in your mind is telling you that you are not at fault, and it's so hard to find an indicator that you are in fact closing yourself to the opinions of others. But then, how do we acquire open-mindedness? How do we find an indicator that we need to exercise this valuable trait? Consider if others express their opinions and you disagree with them. In this case, other people's opinions have incited an visible emotion in yourself. And now you have something to work with. It's so important to focus on not let the dissonance between yours and other people's opinion let you get emotional. And through this process, you can finally practice the awareness of open-mindedness, and you can eventually apply the same kind of understanding back to yourself. But why exactly should we care? What sort of benefits does it have to consider other people's opinions? Nobody here on this planet is omniscient. Our knowledge is always limited, and accepting opinions is perhaps one of the fastest ways to gain knowledge that you otherwise might never have gained. And it's in the long run, it's going to benefit you. Now let's take a step back and look at our society as a whole. In order for us to progress, we also must be open-minded. Because it's only through open-mindedness that we can collaborate with each other, that we can share our knowledge with each other, that we can allow each other to utilize our strength and protect us from our weaknesses. And it's only through open mindedness that humans can really take off from our current state and head into a positive future.